I didn't join the lodge at the proper time, but I can remember as growing up as a boy in Gainesville that I would visit the lodge. Well, I didn't visit the lodge. I would be at the lodge on the weekend with my dad because he was the master of Gainesville Lodge twice and the presiding officer of all of the Masonic bodies. So I was acquainted with Masonry for quite some time. It was, I can remember sitting with Ira Kiker, a retired minister who was a member of Hillcrest, in his backyard under the shade of the tree to learn the lessons of Masonry. And that was a pleasant time. It was good with Jim Groves, who was a master following me. We both got our certificates down at the downtown lodge and held those certificates for a number of years. Unfortunately, as time goes on, I've missed some of the words now. I don't think I can pass the test, but it was a great thing to do, and I appreciate the lodge very much. Perry Howell was the secretary, I don't know, I think for 150 years.
I was the last master. You were good.
But he was a good Mason.
I'm especially glad to be here for more than one reason. I think the highest honor I've ever had that I can recall in life is that when I became a Master Mason, when I was raised, Judge Harold Bateman, state judge and Grand Master of Texas at the time, came and asked me if I would like for him to assemble a team of 33rds, which he did. And I always appreciated that, and that'll always be remembered.
You know, I came up through the lodge in Cedar Hill. My best friend introduced me to the Masonry, and I was reluctant at first. I had questions, but I looked around town and I saw the best men in town.
Absolutely.
So I thought it would be okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
And then I met Brother Crozier Gowan through business. He got me interested in this job. He said, this lot, he said I should be out here. He also got me into the Scottish Rite.
Right, exactly.
So, and I'm very, very grateful for you. All these years I have known you. Brother Harvey has always been here to install us, and I'm very thankful and appreciative of my many years in Masonry, and I really do. The things I appreciate more than anything are the Masonic charities that we do, the hospital.
The Texas Scottish Rite Hospital.
Yeah.
Shrine Hospital.
Those things.
Right.
Those are things that people see.
That's right.
Yeah.
I really don't have a whole lot to say, that I'm very, very proud to be part of the organization and a member of this lodge.
Harold Bateman was an attorney and a judge, and he and my dad used to see each other downtown and wave and say, "Hi, cousin." No
But
connection.
unrelated, right?
No connection.
No connection whatsoever.
No.
Okay.
But,
My friend, it's awfully good to have you again here.
thank you.
We at Hillcrest Lodge, we thank you. I don't know how else to put it. We thank you. We thank you for your service. We thank you for loving the fraternity. We thank you for being with us today.
Well, I have a lot of fine memories at Hillcrest. I had served with Lionel Gilly on audit and different things through the years. And I
You
have,
guys were the audit committee. I mean,
We were.
Yeah, for years.
It was really a lot of good memories there, and I just want to thank you for this very much.
As you had already heard, I was come from Massachusetts. I was born in Everett, Massachusetts, and raised in Saugus, Massachusetts, William Sutton Lodge, which is a very, very well-run and very active. But all I can say is I got here to Texas as fast as I could.
60 years of enjoyment. It's been fun for me. And I look back over the years and some of the funny things that have happened to me. And I remember we were on Hillcrest, catty-cornered from the SMU Law Library. Woody Neiman was worshipful master. I was senior warden. I arrived early, parked almost in front of the lodge. John Summers, who was our great teacher in this lodge, was sitting on a car bumper. And so we greeted each other, and he says, "Jack, Woody Neiman is sick tonight," and this was the night that our district deputy grand master was to be there. And I said, "Lord have mercy." I said, "John, I don't know my fanny about the wording." I said, what are we going to do?" He says, "That's the reason I'm here early, to meet you. And you and I are going to go in a room up here, and we're going to practice." Well, I made it through the night, and I remember at Hillcrest Lodge, along in these seats right here, all the old codgers sat there.
The ones with gray hair.
It was with gray hair. And Judge Harold Bateman was there that night, and I thought, Lord have mercy, I want to do this thing right. Don't want to foul up on the wording. Perry Howell was the secretary, and he said, "Now, Jack, if you get in trouble, just look over here and we'll bail you out." Well, the evening went fine. Worked out all right. I remember living in Midland, Texas, and the Texas Shrine Association was meeting in Galveston, and there were a group of us going down there. And my wife said, "Now, listen, Jack, you all drive carefully, have a good trip, and come home safely." We were in the bar ditch about within a mile of Midland, and but we did make the trip safely and got home okay. Man's up here from the state of Massachusetts. I remember I was speaking in Burlington, Vermont, and I had spoken to this group, and I had finished my talk and was walking down the hallway, and frankly, I was thirsty. Be straightforward with you, I was thirsty. So I found an open door, and I walked in there, and there was a man there, and it was from Aleppo Shrine Temple in Boston. And he says, "Are you thirsty?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And so he said, "Well, you have," and I told him. So we sat down and we talked.
This is an adult beverage, I take it.
Well, it was an adult beverage.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said, "What's your business?" He says, "I'm a Methodist preacher." I thought that was kind of interesting. A Methodist preacher was working the bar.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Sounds like a quality bartender, right?
60 years of meeting interesting men. It's been fun, golly, traveled all over the country, and for the hospitals and our charities, and I'm delighted to be here tonight, and I want to thank the Lodge for inviting me. Thank you, sir.
Well, it's an honor to be here. I have not been active in the Lodge for a long time, beginning way back because of work and different things, with service to the Lord and working in the church. It took my time. But anyway, it's an honor to be a Mason. I know what the Masons stand for. I'm a Christian. I know what God stands for, and that's the main thing in our life. Like Billy, I was in Wichita Falls. In Gainesville, excuse me. In Gainesville,
Yeah.
32 and 33. My dad had a cleaning and pressing shop underneath the cotton exchange that was upstairs. One theater. That goes back a long way. He reminded me of that when he was talking about Gainesville. But
That's a beautiful lodge room up there. It is a very unique lodge.
I wish I'd been there when Jack was going over his deal, but unfortunately I wasn't able to be there at that time. But it's just an honor. I'm 89 years old. I want to be back on my 70th, so Lord willing, I'll be here, and the Lodge will be going.
It's a pleasure being here. I wish to apologize really for being late. We circled the place 3 times.
It's a secret.
But it's just not a hole in the wall, but it's a good place to be. A little background. When I came back from World War II in 1944 in San Antonio, I had some conversations with some fellows working for me, and they talked about masonry. So I became interested in masonry in 1944. And as a result, why it dawned on me that I should be quite interested in it. I did volunteer getting into the lodge, Texas number 8.
San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
Of course, I was in the military, and I did have some opportunities to associate with the lodge down there, but being in the military, why, you never know when you're going to get moved. However, I did go through flying school and graduated in 47. As a result, why, in my flying career, I found that the Masons were there too. And of all of the crew members I had and worked with, and co-pilots and pilots, we found that there was a common bond in the Masonic feelings, and I can vouch for a period where you walk in the airplane, you know who you're flying with. If they were a Mason, why, it went smooth. And it was a real challenge sometimes with others, but we suffered through it. But I do want to appreciate your presence here, and I apologize for being late, but the feeling of being 65 years is a horrible thing.
It's better than the reverse, so that's just the way it works.
But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here, sir, and I thank you very much, Horseville, and I'll try to get back one of these first days on time.
That's Mr. Hawks. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Worshipful Elmer Murphy referred to me as a Yankee. Well, I did spend 28 years in Philadelphia, and that city was named as the city of brotherly love.
Don, age is only a number. Remember that.
Don Hoax was master of this lodge when Lenny and I first visited this lodge. And I can thank my friend over here, Larry Hall, for introducing Lenny and I to this lodge. I want to make something clear. I thought I heard Lenny up here saying he was only 82, and then someone said, wait a minute, Lenny. I know Lenny wouldn't tell the truth in the beginning, because I happen to be 3 years older than Lenny. And I check on him all the time because he tries to get younger, you know? Anyway, I'm so pleased to be a member of this lodge. I guess I'm the old man, but it's great, really great to be working with younger men who are really enthused about masonry and also enthused about helping other people. And Elmer, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ken, thank you.